So they're always having conversations when they're drunk.
Can you look at the camera?
Welcome back to the Dr. Z Show.
Welcome back for the episode everyone's been waiting for. I know I'm excited. Jacob, you stoked? We're here.
I'm moderately stoked.
I'm
Moderately stoked. Well, no one cares about your opinions.
Apparently not.
We're here. We're Shrek. We're excited. And Shrek's a beautiful cultural staple.
Brenna
You're
has
not
really
wrong.
high Brian David Gilbert energy right now.
See, the only reason that we're actually doing this episode
the
is
snaps, like the drink, like
is
while
for
you're
2 reasons. We're doing this episode for 2
Harry, man.
reasons. One, because unfortunately Brenna is right. Shrek is like a weird cultural phenomenon that mostly involves nerds, but it only involves nerds because of like the really weird nerd part of the internet. And 2, so that Brenna will stop bothering me about doing an episode solely devoted to Shrek. And
I'm dancing because you said I was right.
what worries me is that this is going to be the most on-topic episode that we've ever done.
It's because I'm leading the conversation. When you give me authority, I use it.
Jacob, this thus has begun the coup. Like, that is the Dr.
Because you know Claire's gonna love this episode.
I think a lot of people are gonna love.
I feel like
everyone's just
this
gonna
is
love how
be...
excited you are. It's not that
This is
everyone
gonna be
loves Shrek as
the
much as you.
episode.
Not that everyone loves Shrek as much as you, because they don't. But everyone just loves how excited you are about it.
Make something clear right off the top. I don't even know if there's a Shrek movie in my favorite movies of all time. There isn't. I just really love a meme, and I love upsetting Anthony. And that's mostly why we're here.
This explains like a year and a half of my life pretty well. That was secret backstory information that I will not acknowledge again in the next 5 minutes.
Oh man.
So when did
Now we just
Shrek
need to
1
splice
come out?
together videos of you like dancing behind yourself.
So Shrek 1 came out in 2001.
Wow, is it really
I
that
know,
old?
right?
19
And
years ago.
it came out that long ago. And it came out, so Dreamworks apparently has like eras. According to Wikipedia, they have what they consider eras. So DreamWorks SKG era was the beginning of DreamWorks, right? Because now we know them for like How to Train Your Dragon and like all of the kind of like bigger movies, right?
Also, Jacob, I can't read the chat because it will come up in the window. Because I have to the software we're using now records the screen, so you have to like message me on Facebook so I can look at it on my phone or whatever.
Okay.
Real quick,
but I mean,
we did talk about this actually. We brought this up briefly on a previous episode when we were talking about Prince of Egypt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they did
that. I got excited.
Yeah, So Prince of Egypt is like early DreamWorks, right? That's in the first era. Now we know them for like Trolls, which is everywhere, and How to Train Your Dragon, which is everywhere. But think about it. Shrek began a beautiful, beautiful life for the studio.
The only reason,
because I mean,
the only reason that I was interested in the first Shrek movie was because my favorite band at the time was Smash Mouth, and they had 2 songs.
That's on brand for you.
And so I was like, well, I mean, yeah, but they had 2 songs in the movie, so I was like, I gotta see this movie because Smash Mouth is in it. And that was like, I enjoyed the first movie. I thought it was funny, and so I went and saw the second movie, and I enjoyed it a little bit less. Then I was like, this is okay now. And then they made more, and I was like, I've stopped enjoying this.
Shrek came out in 2001. I just want to talk about the other 3 movies that came out as DreamWorks kind of like projects before Shrek. It's Prince of Egypt, Ants, and Chicken Run.
Which are all great movies.
This
actually.
is a really good era of like movies.
Ants is okay.
I remember bringing up. Well, Ants had a
Ants is
problem
their
of coming
first
out. Ants had a problem of coming out like literally the same year that A Bug's Life came out.
And A Bug's Life was objectively better.
Chicken Run, which
Chicken
we
Run
brought
is
up on the
beautiful.
podcast before, which
Yes.
I told you Chicken
I
Run was a
actually
metaphor.
genuinely love that movie.
I told you it was a metaphor for the Holocaust, and I think either one of you or both of you were like, "What?"
I'd heard that before. I just hadn't. Yeah, no, I unless it's just like happened so long ago that now I feel like I've known that for a while. But
It was a long time ago
sure,
that we brought it up.
Someone will tell us in the comments.
But Prince of Egypt also
And then
is a fantastic
Egypt,
movie.
Fantastic
Even,
movie.
like, besides the religious subtext, like, even without, like, not without that, because that's, like, what makes the movie, but, like, even, like, if you're an atheist or, like, someone that doesn't believe in, like, God or, like, any form of Christianity or whatever, like, it's still a great movie.
Storytelling in Prince of Egypt is incredibly strong.
Yes.
It's incredibly powerful. It's incredibly well done. And then, so right after Shrek came out, they immediately started making Shrek 2, which came out in 2004. And Shark Tale. It took them 3 years. Because I don't think they thought Shrek was going to be popular.
Probably not. I remember, well, like, maybe they did, though, because it had, like, Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy, and, like, it had all these really, like, Cameron Diaz is Fiona, right?
Cameron Diaz is Fiona. So,
like,
okay.
So they had all these, like, big-name actors who weren't really voice actors. Eddie Murphy, kind of. But, like, they had all these big-name actors that were, like, in this movie. So they had to put a lot of money in it, because they're, like, people in Prince of Egypt and Chicken Run and even Ants were, like, lesser known. I mean, Ants has some big names in it, but, like,
I want to let's start off with some trivia, because it's me.
You've said
I love
let's
trivia.
start off, I think, twice now.
Who cares? Who do you think was offered the role of Shrek first?
Ooh, I think I know this one. I've heard this before.
The initial offer. There are 2 answers. One is more correct.
Keanu Reeves.
Incorrect.
I don't know. I don't remember. I know that I've seen this before, but I do not remember who it was.
So the initial casting was Chris Farley.
Ugh.
Uh-huh. The initial offer, the very first Shrek, the concept of Shrek, was none other than Nicolas Cage. We could have had Nick Cage Shrek. Think about it.
I don't want to. That's, like, that's...
Ogres have layers.
All right, Monkey.
This, like... This is related only because... This is related only because Nicolas Cage could have been Shrek. But I feel like the voice that Jacob just used, I feel like Henry Cavill studied that Nicolas Cage voice to get his Geralt of Rivia voice for The Witcher. Because he sounds like if I didn't know we were talking about Nicolas Cage, I was like, Jacob, why are you voicing the Witcher right now?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so we could have had Nicolas Cage.
I'm so glad we didn't have either of those people.
In 2013, Cage explained furthermore, when you're drawn, in a way it says more about how children are going to see you than anything else. And so I care about that. He didn't want to look like an ogre. That's why he turned down the role. Not because he didn't.
That's literally why.
Nicolas Cage was initially offered the role of Shrek, but he turned it down because he did not want to look like an ogre. Which is...
Isn't the entire plot of the movie how it, like it doesn't matter, like, what you look like and,
so
like, how people see you?
So, let's consider the initial subject matter, the initial material they had to work with, which is a children's book that came out in 1990 called Shrek, with an exclamation point. That's why I did that.
Okay. Yeah, so before any of us were born.
A children's book named Shrek. I didn't know this until today when I did research.
I'd never heard of that before. It seems
Shrek.
reasonable.
Yeah,
but I had no idea.
Shrek
that
is a
existed.
humorous children's book published in 1990 by American book writer and cartoonist William Steig about a repugnant, monstrous green creature who leaves home to see the world and ends up saving a princess. The name Shrek is a romanticization of the
Yiddish
word corresponding to German Schreck, meaning fear or fright. Basically, the plot of the book is that he's so apparently he breathes fire in the children's book.
They took that out for the movie? That would have been awesome.
Shrek is a repugnant, green-skinned, fire-breathing, seemingly indestructible monster who enjoys causing misery with his repulsiveness.
They took that out for the movie? Him breathing fire would have been awesome. Reimagine the scene with the dragon.
That is the
dragon's
first line
breathing
of the
fire,
plot.
And he's like, okay, whatever. Just breathes fire.
That is the first line of the plot on the Wikipedia page. The whole plot of this this book is wild. So he comes of age, and then his parents literally kick him out of their swamp. Get out of my swamp. Shrek soon encounters a witch who, in exchange for a rare specimen of lice, reads his fortune using the magic words apple strudel. He will meet a donkey who will take him to a castle where he will battle a knight and marry a princess who is even uglier than him. Excitedly on his way, Shrek encounters a scything peasant from whom he steals and eats his pheasant. Counters an attack from thunder, lightning, and rain by eating the lightning's fiercest bolt, and knocks out a dragon with his fiery breath.
Teen Titans crossover with Shrek? What?
However, he is disturbed.
Wait, no, hold on. What was related to Teen Titans?
Thunder and Lightning. The twins.
Yeah, no, he's right.
The twins they encountered. The twins that
yeah.
That they teach they teach like the two
they
twins
absorb elements.
That they can have fun.
Oh,
without,
okay, you said twins and I was like, plus and mine? Like what?
Or I guess they're just brothers. But
brothers.
Okay, that was wild, like what?
Oh, we're not done quite yet. However, he is disturbed by a dream in which he is helpless and being hugged and kissed by a multitude of children. Awakening, he meets the donkey, who takes him to the Nutty Knight of Crazy Castle. The Nutty Knight is offended by Shrek's demands to enter the castles and attempts to smite him, to which Shrek responds with a fire blast that sends him into the moat. Upon entering the castle, Shrek is at first terrified to be surrounded by an army of similarly hideous creatures, but regains his resolve upon discovering that he is in the Hall of Mirrors. He finally meets the princess. Mutually smitten by their shared ugliness, they marry and live horribly ever after, scaring the socks off of all who fell afoul of them. A won Best Children's Book of the Year.
I mean,
they
kept a lot for the movie.
Yeah.
I'm really disappointed they took out the part where he can breathe fire.
Yeah, I feel like that would have made a better... I don't know. Okay, so that's the book. Also, it's intentionally drawn incredibly poorly.
Are the scenes from the very beginning of the movie where he's reading the story taken from the book?
No.
Okay.
No, those are a complete farce on the idea of the storybook beginnings that so many of the early Disney movies had. Because you have to remember,
in the swamp, that's really bad.
That the drawing of him in the swamp is based off of the initial art.
Okay.
So Yeah, the story of the
DreamWorks
beginning
made this
is
movie to say like "fuck you" to Disney, like 100%.
because they're old Disney artists, all of them.
Oh,
Like the
really?
initial founders were all
I
old
did
Disney
not know
artists.
that
Yes.
actually.
I have
Learning
fun
all
Yeah,
facts.
kinds of
though.
new things today.
DreamWorks. Hold on.
I have fun DreamWorks facts about
Yeah.
Shrek.
Originally formed. It's spun off, made by the Glen. Where did the beginning go? There it is. A trio of entertainment players, film director and producer Spielberg, former Disney executive Jeffrey Katzenberg, and music executive David Geffen founded DreamWorks SKG.
Spielberg was one of the original founders of DreamWorks.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm
Yeah.
learning a lot of things today.
Isn't this episode way better than you thought it would be?
So
Already?
far, because we've kept actual talking about Shrek to a minimum. Jacob,
I
what were your
literally read you the plot of the children's book.
Okay, wait. I want to insert
Which
some
sounds
facts.
way better than the
They're all-
movie, honestly.
they're
Like,
completely
let's be
random.
honest.
Please,
Okay,
insert Shrek.
Okay, so random Shrek facts that I have. The Shrek movie was made with like free animation software.
Yes.
And so that's how they kept the cost for developing the movie it was super low because of the animation software that they were using.
Okay.
So I think part of Shrek's success, or like part of the reason that it went on to, and everything, was that the production cost was really low for the kind of movie it was.
And they kept the
and then
animation the same through all the movies, right?
Yeah, and so that's part of why it had a really high profit margin, because it ended up being this smashing success. No, like Smash Mouth.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the budget of this movie was $60 million, and the box office sales was $484 million.
What the fuck? Oh my god.
Yeah. So that's one
Incredibly
way-
high grossing film.
Yeah. The other thing is that let's see. Yeah, Abby wanted me to include that Farquaad is a caricature of Michael Eisner as like fun pokes at Disney, and then
Okay.
also that while there was some other thing that DreamWorks was making at the time that like interesting.
Shark
Abby
Tale.
showed me a thing of the. Was they making Shark? There was
They
something
were
they were
making
making
Shark
at the same.
Tale at the same. So Shrek 2 and Shark
they
Tale came
were
out at the
making
same
Prince
time.
of Egypt that people would get Shrek. So
Yeah,
they'd
that I
send
brought
Oh,
that up.
getting
I
Shrek,
brought that
yeah.
up when we talked about it the first time. People that worked at
Yeah.
Prince of Egypt, like if they fucked up or like were being like disobedient. I don't know what the right word is, but like if they did something wrong, like they had to go work on Shrek, and it was like being referred to as like getting Shreked.
Yeah, I think that's the extent of my Shrek fun facts knowledge.
Yeah, that was the only fun fact that I had, was people that used to work on Prince of Egypt got Shreked.
What's wild to me, okay, so we all associate All-Star with this movie. The greatest song of all time. Smash Mouth's
No,
All-Star.
everything that you just said was wrong.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
Everything
No,
you just said was
hold
incorrect.
on. Okay, when you think of All-Star, in terms of movies, do you not think of Shrek?
Okay, in terms of that song in movies, yes.
Because initially and I'm sure you know this, but that's not what the song was initially like licensed for. It wasn't
No.
the first movie that it was the I don't know, anthem for.
It was in a couple
Do you
other
know-
movies. I do not know. I do not remember off the top of my head what they are.
The music video for it, hold on. I don't remember the name. There it is. It was initially the music video for the like remember how in the like late 90s, early 2000s music videos were also movie trailers?
Yeah, vaguely.
Like Iris is a movie trailer for that terrible Nicolas Cage
Oh yeah, and that
Little
song is so
rom-com?
good, but
the song is so good, and then you just have him like rolling around in that like lighthouse
yeah.
telescope thing.
Speaking of songs that are attached to movies, Kiss of a Rose or whatever by shoot, I forget his name. I don't. He has a scar.
He has a scar? That narrows it down.
Yeah.
Scar.
Kiss from a Rose. Seal.
Seal,
Kiss
yeah.
from a Rose. It's like it's a trailer for Batman Forever.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Kiss from a Rose music video is full of scenes from Batman Forever.
Why do you know
That's
that?
hilarious.
Because I'm awesome.
So, All
Why
Stars
actually do you know that? No, I need to know. Why do you know that?
Because I'm
That
awesome.
is extremely specific.
It is incredibly specific, and I fully support it.
One of Train songs is a trailer for Spider-Man 2.
I knew that.
I knew that, actually.
It's Ordinary? Yeah. Ordinary Train.
Mystery Men is the movie that the music video for All Star is a thing for.
Mystery Men's
trailer.
I don't
Mystery Men,
know
I
that I've
actually
ever
haven't
seen
seen
that
it.
movie. I don't even
The
know.
song is featured in other films, such as Inspector Gadget, Digimon the Movie, Rat Race, Shrek, and then in TV shows such as Brooklyn Nine-Nine and American
Rat Race,
Housewives.
that's why I remember it, because Rat Race is, if you've not seen Rat Race, it is one of the fucking funniest movies you will ever
I
watch
have
in
not
your life.
actually watched Rat Race.
It is fucking fantastic. It is hilarious. And there's a scene at the end where they end up at a Smash Mouth concert. And that song plays during the credits. But it is one of the fucking funniest movies you will ever watch. I like, Rat Race is fucking amazing. You've got to watch this movie.
musical called All Star, the best Broadway musical, will reorchestrate and rearrange the song in a variety of music and dance styles, such as tango, patter song, and nightmare ballet.
What?
Up musical called All Star, the best Broadway musical, will reorchestrate and rearrange the song in a variety of music and dance styles.
No, I heard what you said, but I'm confused as to why that exists.
Because the world is beautiful and I'm excited.
Okay, I will be right back.
Okay.
Also, Brenna, your audio is crackling sometimes, at least for me. I don't know if it's happening for...
It is.
I don't know how to fix that. Maybe, I don't know. Is that better?
Just put some, maybe, I don't know. It happens kind of randomly, so...
Okay, we'll see. I'm wondering maybe it
just
had
like-
anything to do with me shaking my desk. Is it doing it now?
No.
Okay. It's entirely possible that my headphones weren't plugged in all the way.
That would do it.
That would do
You
it.
could just put some, like, Vicks Vapor Rub on it. That'll work.
This episode's going well.
You won't fry your
Yeah, we
computer.
can stay on topic.
Yeah, we can stay on top. There's so much to talk about. What I'm saying is this episode was a good idea.
Deep dives.
Okay, we can continue.
Oh, we
Even
can
though I'm not in
continue now?
frame, I'm still recording.
I don't know what you were doing. So, that's All-Star. But, you know, when we think All-Star, I think Shrek. I think memes. I think Shrek is love. I think Shrek is life.
Now that that's
Anyway.
the first time you've actually said
Oh,
that,
also-
you have to talk about it.
Small, very tiny, small fun fact. I was one of the first people in our friend group to find out about the Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life thing. Like,
I don't remember
Yes,
when
I do remember
first...
that. And I remember...
I remember when I first watched Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life.
I
know
haven't
it was
watched it. I just
cool.
found out about its existence.
I remember
because I
you-
saw like the 4chan.
Have you watched it ever? Have you watched
No.
the video?
Yes.
And I won't.
Wow.
Don't.
You don't need to, but I'm proud of you. Weirdly,
Me?
I never
no,
watched
not you.
the-
I'm proud of Jacob for like
Wow, hard.
staying strong. Because no one needs to watch the animated interpretation of Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life, in which you hear things like "It hurts, but I do it for Shrek," and it makes me sad. Now I laugh really hard, and I love showing it to people who haven't seen it
I
Because
watched it on accident once.
how did you watch it on accident?
Okay, because I had never seen it before. Let me explain this. I never seen it before, but
Mhm.
I like it was on Facebook or somewhere, and I never seen it before, and someone like posted it, and I was just like absent-mindedly like scrolling like whatever, and I started watching it. I was like, this is fucking weird. Like, what is this? And then that line comes up where he says that, and I was like, oh god, that's what this is.
It is Shrek intimately having relations.
The reason I kept watching it, like after seeing the first like 5 seconds of it, is I was like, why is this animated so badly? I was like, this looks like garbage.
Because
I have to know what this is.
would you have finished watching it if it were animated well?
No, I don't think I ever finished watching it. I think once I found out what it was, I was like, I'm gonna stop now. But
Genuinely watched it multiple times, mostly because I show other
why?
people. Because I show other people.
Okay, so the way you just described what it is, though, makes you now sound like a pedophile. Or like a furry, but Shrek furry
what?
thing.
No. So
It's a child in the video, right?
it is a child in the video. I think so. That I haven't read the. I don't. I mean, I have. I think I have read the original green text. Yeah, but it's implied that it's a child. The reason why I show people is because Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life is one of those like weirdly universal memes that I feel like everyone's heard. But people don't know the origin of Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life.
It's
And then
4chan,
when you
right?
say yes.
Yeah.
It's a 4chan green text, and then
We don't
the
talk
video
about
has
4chan on the show because it's 4chan.
yeah, no one 4chan doesn't deserve the credit that it thinks it does. Don't dox me. God.
Point.
But yeah. Just the pure shock value of the initial watching. It's like The Room too. I like watching people watch train wrecks and car wreck.
Hold on. Your friend group has an unhealthy obsession with The Room movie.
Not really.
No, I will never
I mean,
forget that night.
I have.
Whose house did we go to? You know what I'm talking? You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I will never forget that night that we all sat there and watched The Room.
I'm
and
not
all
even
of us
talking
were like,
about my high school friends. I'm talking about my college friends. We also love The Room. I have played a drinking game to The Room twice.
what?
The drinking game is so bad, it tells you to drink water. Every time there's a sweeping shot of San Francisco, you chug water the entire time.
You didn't die of like water poisoning or whatever, which is a real thing?
No. We were fine.
Also, the one guy who died from the water poison had a medical condition that allowed him to die from it, though. So
yeah, it permitted him to die.
Yeah.
Somebody died. They did a competition to like win Nintendo Wii when Nintendo Wii was a thing. Somebody died. Some woman died because it was like the name of the competition was like "Hold Your Wii for a Wii" or something.
Yeah,
and so she like died of
a
bladder infection or something.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was like a radio show that like put it on or something.
I
have this vague Nintendo like trivia that I know.
PSA, listen to your bladder.
Yeah, don't hold it ever.
PSA.
UTIs are bad. Like I feel like I really want to do like a
Jacob, shut the fuck up.
I didn't hear Jacob, and I'm ignoring whatever he just said.
No.
I really want to give a PSA right now that's in the style of the
Stop
Mean
saying
Girls.
PSA.
You're saying it wrong, Brenna.
Shut up. I want to give like a service announcement in the style of the coach from Mean Girls. The like You
You
know,
will have sex. You
if
will get
you-
pregnant, and you will die.
yeah, it's like if you don't go to the bathroom, you will get an infection, and you will go into septic shock, and you will die.
That's much worse, I think.
It is, absolutely. Because there's nothing funny about it. That's just true. Back to Shrek.
The words I never want to hear.
Back to
Follow
Shrek.
that under things I never want to hear.
So let's talk about the first movie. When we watched it, when you first watched it as a kid, as a youngin, thoughts, feelings.
It was funny. I
It
enjoyed
was great.
I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
I did
My
not.
favorite scenes were actually the thing that I remembered most out of the entire movie was probably Gingy, and then the scene in the field when Fiona like explodes the bird and like
Oh,
he
yeah.
catches all the bugs with the spider net and makes the cotton candy.
Yeah, they're like
What is
weird
that?
date. I love their
The
weird
gingerbread
date.
man. His name's Gingy.
Gingy.
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I remember the parts I remember most as a kid were the entire part in the beginning where he's at what's the name of the castle? Dulot. Where he's at Dulot. The entire time
Dulot,
when he's
yeah.
at Dulot, including the like weird like wrestling match that he has with all the knights.
Yeah.
That and the entire scene at the like messed up castle that has like the lava moat.
Yep.
Those are the parts I remember the
When
most.
he's actually saving the princess
Yeah,
and
when
like
he's
fighting
actually
the dragon.
saving Fiona
Yeah.
from the lady dragon.
The scene that will always stick out to me the most in that movie is the
Oh, sorry, and the Robin Hood, the fight with the Robin Hood.
Robin
guys,
Hood's
where she
great.
beats
The
up all
Robin
the
Hood's
merry
great.
men.
See, there are so many good scenes in this. Like, because I'm also thinking about the puppet, like Disneyland style. It's a Small World. Like,
Oh, the Dulot,
like don't
the-
forget to
yeah.
like
Wash
wipe your feet. Yeah, to wash your
face.
feet. Yeah, and wash your face. Yeah, and then they just take the picture of them just standing there like what? Yeah, it's so chef's kiss. Well done. I think the whole first movie is
The first movie is very
weirdly
funny. Like
good. It's
I'll
weirdly
still laugh
good.
today watching it, but
Yeah.
I don't want to watch any of the other ones.
And the reason I bring up, so I want to talk about as well the director for this, or one of the directors, Andrew Adamson, directed several other popular movies,
I'm not
such
gonna like
as
this list. I'm gonna be super disappointed.
you might. No, I'm so sorry. I think it was the writer. The director did the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe series, which, whatever.
Isn't
But
that Christopher Columbus?
Christopher Columbus.
Or like who are the
No,
guys?
that's Aslan. It's one big allegory for God. C.S. Lewis.
No, I no the director for the movies, like whoever the guy was that directed the first Harry Potter movie. It wasn't the same director.
No. Maybe
You
they
guys know a lot
co-directed
of like
it.
vague trivia about this, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it is Christopher Columbus for Harry Potter, but then
Wow, he's been alive a long time.
Yeah.
That's like, oh man, that's like 600 years almost.
So it was the writer. I got my.
The joke wasn't funny, so I appreciate that no one laughed at it.
Why would I laugh at something that's not funny?
Oh, he directed the Fantastic Four films.
That's why they
Ooh.
sucked. That's why they're so bad. It's his fault.
He also directed the Home Alone 1 and 2, and the Goonies, and Gremlins.
What?
Weird.
What?
That's
And
a
the Night
spread.
at Museum films.
I thought I was about to give you a spread of films.
That's a
spread of
that's
films.
wild.
Because so one of the writers for
That's
Shrek wrote all of these movies.
Oh no.
He wrote Little Monsters, The Mask of Zorro, the 1998 Godzilla.
The what? That's the one with Matthew Broderick.
I believe it is.
Yeah, that one's bad.
Aladdin, Treasure Planet,
Which Aladdin? Because we have to make that
Aladdin.
the real Aladdin.
Yes. the real Aladdin.
What the fuck? Really?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Treasure Planet and
Treasure
I
Planet.
think
I love Treasure Planet.
Pirates of the Caribbean. All of them. All of them.
Wow.
He wrote The Legend of Zorro. He wrote G-Force. He
No,
wrote
okay,
the 2013 Low Ranger.
Okay, now I'm really upset.
Yeah.
The same person that wrote Aladdin and Treasure Planet wrote the G-Force movie.
Yeah.
That's the one about like the gerbils that are like secret agents or something.
He's uncredited.
Thank God. I'm learning so
But
much
he was
that
an
I don't want to
associate
know.
producer. He was an associate producer.
I'm learning so much that I don't want to know about anything.
This is
truly
my
what I'm best at.
This
my
blows me so
headcanon
much though
for-
because sorry Jacob, but this blows me so much though because I minored in film and I took so many film classes in college and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like all of this film trivia, I'm just like, no, I don't want to know any of this.
Why would you care? Why would you care about Shrek specific
This
trivia?
isn't Shrek. That's not Shrek film trivia though. This guy Christopher Columbus. This is not Shrek film
Oh, no.
trivia.
No,
this is
isn't
Ted
Chris
Elliott.
Columbus.
So sorry.
Oh,
This
okay.
is
I
Ted
was like,
Elliott.
what? Okay.
This is Ted Elliott.
Wait, okay,
Different
so
guy.
my headcanon for Ted Elliott's like assistant producer uncredited like thing on that film for G-Force though, like as with all of the other good movies that he's been involved with,
He was embarrassed.
is that they came up to him and they were like, "Hey, do you think we should do this movie?" And he's like, "No." Like, and they just wrote him in. Like, well, we got advice. He was an assistant producer. It counts.
Yeah.
Should we do this?
Also,
movie
I
now?
just learned that there's a man named Gore Verbinski, and I don't know how to feel about that. Let's just talk about that for a minute.
Is he a murderer?
He directed the Pirates of the Caribbean films.
He should become a murderer. That's a great murderer name.
Well, I'm so sorry. He directed the first two. He directed Curse of the Black Pearl and Dead Man's Chest. Oh, he did
Which
Outworld's End too.
Okay, which are arguably the good ones. Like,
I mean, yes. He did not do On Stranger Tides. Yog Sparrow.
On Stranger Tides was bad. It was a bad movie.
Yeah. That one's not Yog Sparrow. Which one's
That's the fifth one.
the fifth one with Javier Bardem.
Yeah. We talked about this either
Sparrow.
last episode or the episode before that. You are keeping us wildly off topic now. Now you're keeping us off topic.
Okay. So that was I feel like we covered the first movie. That's Ted Elliott. The first movie we really enjoy, right?
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion, I actually prefer the second movie.
I've only ever seen the second movie twice. I think the second time I saw it like in bits and pieces. I remember liking it, but I do not think it was as funny as the first one. It didn't feel like clever anymore after the first one. It like didn't feel funny.
Shrek 2 is DreamWorks' most successful film to date.
That is the most depressing thing I will ever hear in my entire life.
Do you want to know how much money it made in the box office?
That is the most depressing thing I'll ever hear in my entire life.
Do you want to know how much money it made?
Go see Prince of Egypt, Treasure Planet, like go see any of DreamWorks' other movies, not all of them, but any of them, and then see Shrek 2 and be like, why?
Treasure Planet's Disney.
I thought you said it. No, okay, no, never mind. I'm getting it mixed up.
Ted Elliott wrote it.
Right. Okay. Point.
So the budget for this movie was $150 million. So we doubled our budget.
Wow! Holy shit. Okay.
Almost tripled.
More than double.
Yeah.
Almost tripled. Yeah. In the box office, it made $919.8 million.
Okay, it looked like you were about to say billion. The way you pursed your lips, I was like, oh god, no.
That would be wild. That would be truly, truly wild. And I think if that were true, I would just walk away. I would just start walking somewhere. Doesn't matter where.
Okay, I have a theory about this.
Yeah?
The reason the second movie did that well was because of how surprisingly popular the first movie was. And
Absolutely.
how surprisingly well received the first movie was.
That's not how it works.
The second movie, it doesn't always make that doesn't always happen. with
always happen.
sequels.
That's fair. So, oh my god, it premiered at the Cannes Film Festival?
I have lost all respect now for Cannes Film Festival.
It
The
also,
fact that you said Cannes is like worrying to me a little bit, but
I said Cannes.
She said Cannes.
you said
Did I?
Cannes, yeah.
Well,
I
Cons,
know
yeah.
it's Cannes, but like whatever. I was reading a new sentence.
cans of turkey.
So I love the
I
second
imagine
film.
all the Dragon Lords going to a movie.
I love the second film so much because I had it on DVD. You two can keep laughing.
Jacob's
I'm
now
gonna.
visualizing like all of the
Yeah, they're all cans.
for
It's very
reference.
good.
For reference, Cons of Tarkir is a magic set.
Yes, please. Come and get your Abzan soup. Your Abzan
wait,
can.
so-
Your ab can soup.
Before we continue with Shrek 2, though, I have to say, because we were talking about like when we've seen these films,
Yes.
I've only seen Shrek 2 once, and I saw it in theaters, but I had a stomachache because I had like a salsa eating contest with my dad and my brother-in-law.
Why do I remember you telling me this story before?
Because it's very important. So I had a crazy stomachache that whole time, and like walked out of the theater a few times because like my stomach hurt so bad. And after that, for about 3 months, I had like psychosomatic like trauma. Whenever someone would mention a movie theater, my stomach would just start hurting, and I was only able to get over it.
Ruined movie theaters for you for
3 months. I didn't
for a
see,
full quarter of a year.
Yeah, I didn't see Prisoner of Azkaban in theaters with my family because they were like, "Hey, we're gonna go see like Harry Potter 3. You want to come with?" And I was like, I don't feel so good anymore. Like, sorry, I can't go."
Oh my
but I
god,
got
that's
over-
the best one.
Yeah, I got over it with seeing Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie though. It was like my birthday. It was like my 8th or 9th birthday or whatever, and I was like, I'm gonna have a birthday party, and I like I stood in front of a mirror and talked myself out of it, and I was like, "You're not sick. Just go see this movie."
This might be the best episode of the Dr. Z show we've had to date. Because there's so much wild information just like
Yeah.
and you get a weird story, and you get a weird story, and you get a weird story.
Jake, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I remember the
so-
salsa eating part, but I do not remember the Prisoner of Azkaban or the fact that you
think
went to
part
go
of-
see the Yu-Gi-Oh movie in theaters.
You saw the
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh movie in theaters, and
It
that's
was a
really
birthday party. I had like a bunch of friends over. Like, I was
Sure.
like, I
Oh,
can't
sure.
let them down. There's no way I'm canceling this.
I need to take them to see the Yu-Gi-Oh movie. The chain
Yeah,
is very important.
Yeah, but apparently, you shouldn't eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and then like eat as much salsa as you can to try and like keep up with adults.
I think I had to tell. I don't think you had to tell anyone else.
He had to tell himself that. He's starting to get a stomach ache. He's looking at his own video and he's like, "Don't do this again."
It's you're good enough, you're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like you. It's that self-affirmation.
Yeah,
You don't
tell
need to
yourself
eat as
every
much
morning.
salsa as a grown man. You don't.
Now that you are a grown man, would you eat that much salsa again?
Should you eat that much
real
salsa
questions.
again? Should you eat that much salsa again?
Probably not.
Probably not. So the reason why I loved the second Shrek movie, getting back on topic, I had it on DVD, and on the DVD there was a little side
Oh
gig
god.
that
Go
was
ahead.
basically
I know what you're talking about now.
yeah, it was American Idol, but for the Shrek characters. And I, in my late elementary school and early middle school days, had this like thing where I had like 3 movies that I would just kind of watch on repeat. And it was Shrek 2, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Sound of Music, and probably just those 3, which are it's like 2 movies that make sense when you put them together, and then Shrek 2.
Yeah.
I There's part of me that wants to. I mean, I guess Julie Andrews is in Sound of Music and Shrek 2. That's all I got. That's the only parallel I can draw.
Jacob, you gotta put up that. You gotta say that bit about Christopher Columbus again. The thing you just said.
Oh, Chris Columbus was also the director for Jingle All the Way.
Sure. Yeah.
How did they pick him to be the director for Harry Potter? Just
Well,
like
I mean,
scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Well, no, Home Alone 1 and 2. He had the Goonies. He had Goonies, Gremlins, Home Alone 1 and 2, all before that, which were all very successful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the Goonies wasn't successful, but now it's like a cult, like classic. And like, I'm gonna burn myself at the stake here. It's not a good movie.
Fine.
It's not like it's okay. It's like, yeah, that was a movie.
I didn't like it when I was a kid, which I think is when you're supposed to like it.
Yeah.
I couldn't sit through it. I thought it was boring.
I've seen I've seen fully grown men like get into fistfights over whether or not it's the best movie of all time. That's a story for a completely other day. But yeah, I've seen that happen.
They're both wrong. I don't care what their opinions are. They're both just wrong. They're fighting over the Goonies. The Goonies is fine. It's a good movie. I have fun when I watch it, but I'm not gonna like actively seek out Goonies.
Okay, finish the part about the Shrek 2
I'd much rather watch
features
Shrek 2.
so I can finish being upset about it.
So they had Happily Ever After, or what was? Oh no, that's not what it was called. Far, Far Away Idol. That's what it was called. And Simon Cowell was actually on it.
Was it actually his voice?
It was actually Simon Cowell.
God.
And they all sang. Here, I will give you the list of songs featured in Far, Far Away Idol.
I remember that Holding Out for a Hero was like the queen or like the fairy godmother or something.
That's the fairy godmother in the movie sings that. And that's one of the greatest scenes in like animated history.
I didn't realize it was in the movie.
Yeah, it's in the movie. You have Mongo like like storming the castle with Hot Shrek. It's great. So Donkey sings.
I don't like that he's Hot Shrek instead of Human Shrek.
The potion makes you hot. That's what I'm saying. He's not good looking. Let's be clear. His jaw is way too square.
He's the Crimson Chin, and then
he's
the alternate universe Crimson Chin.
Yeah. So Donkey sings Disco Inferno. Pinocchio sings Mr. Roboto.
That's Eddie Murphy. That's
yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and he has his dragon wife and babies like also like on stage, and they're breathing fire everywhere.
Okay, that's fair. Sure.
Like tail catches on fire or something. You know, comedy.
Okay.
Pinocchio sings Mr. Roboto.
Being Pinocchio, yeah. Okay.
Side note: did you know who plays the ugly stepsister?
In Shrek 2?
Yeah.
It's been I've only seen Shrek 2 those 2 times, and it's been a really long time. It's been at least 10 years.
I'm never gonna guess, so I'm going to tell you.
Jones.
No. No, but that's weirdly not a bad guess. Larry King.
I'm sorry, what? Larry King
is the voice of the
Larry King,
the ugly stepsister in Shrek 2.
Yes.
The
Larry
King, like Larry King live, like that Larry King.
Yes, like that Larry King. And do you know what song Larry King sings in Far, Far Away Idol?
He sings a song?
He sings a song! He sings Girls Just Wanna Have Fun!
This is the best episode of our show ever.
This is the best episode, without a doubt. Get in the comments. Agree with us.
Why do I now, like, have a horrible visualization of actual Larry King on stage somewhere singing that song.
Just go look it up. Like,
Is
when
it-
this episode's done,
Is it any
go look it up.
good? Like, I have to know.
It's intentionally... Well, so it's, like, good in that bad way. You know what I mean?
No.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm glad Jacob understands me. So, the
Jacob
Big Bad
likes
Wolf...
things that are bad. His opinion on anything doesn't matter because he likes the conduit. So his opinion
Big
on
Bad
everything after that episode doesn't matter.
and the Three Pigs sing Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran.
Okay.
Prince Charming sings I'm Too Sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Three Blind Mice sing I Can See Clearly Now.
Why is this so long?
Gingy
Do they
sings
sing the
Sugar
whole song?
Sugar. No, it's like the first verse and the chorus.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, this is a really long bonus features.
No. And what was fun is that you could like pick like they do all of it, and then at the end you got to pick, and you didn't pick an ending that like Simon Cowell liked, quote unquote. Simon Cowell just like he started singing My Way at the end if you picked the wrong one. Yeah. Weird. So yeah. Gingy sings Sugar Sugar. Captain Hook sings Hooked on a Feeling.
Why is Captain Hook in that movie? What?
I don't know. Antonio Banderas.
Isn't he a Disney property?
I have no idea.
He's a Peter Pan property. I mean,
But
like,
Peter
it's
Pan,
an old book.
Like,
There was a Peter Pan like stage play in like the 40s. Oh yeah, hello. Like Peter Pan's really old.
No, I know that Peter Pan is that old, but like, couldn't Disney have considered him a property that recently?
I don't think so.
You are questioning a movie that came out in 2004.
What is the question?
No, but I'm talking about how recently the Peter Pan animated, like Disney Peter Pan animated movie was to 2004. I'm just very interested in the copyright of this and like how they got, if they were able to get that from Disney.
Someone's interested in the copyright of this, because like just
I don't know
care.
why. I'm just very interested to know that. I see, after seeing the Peter Pan movie, I now think of Captain Hook and Peter Pan like as a Disney property because they did the Peter Pan movie and they did Hook with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hook came out in like the 90s.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that it seems like Peter Pan stuff like is only that individual work is copyrighted. So like if they made like another specific Hook movie, like or like try to redo it, like yeah, Disney would own it, whatever. But then I just looked up the Peter Pan play is still under copyright, but the book from which it was based on is not. So like you can make whatever other media you want about Peter Pan, but you just
With
can't
those
do a
characters.
play. I guess.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, you can't do
and
that specific
considering
play.
Far, Far Away is all about like fairy tales and books itself, like that's the whole point of the town.
Yeah,
That
but
makes
it's
more
based on because
Cinderella is also in the movie.
Oh well, no, yeah, you're right.
Cinderella, Snow White, they're all in the movie.
Those are like old Disney movies, like old.
Yeah, but
People
they're
are
still
surprised
under
at how
copyright.
old Snow White is.
But they're still under copyright.
She looks great for her age.
I know. She looks great for 14.
Yes, let's please remind everyone the pedophilic nature of early Disney princesses.
Prince Charming's 31. Puss in Boots saying these boots are made for walking.
Of course.
Shrek and Fiona sing What I Like About You.
Puss in Boots is
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas, yeah. Okay.
Because he's playing Zorro. And then Simon Cowell sings I Did It My Way. Well, Simon Cowell doesn't sing it. Rick Riso sings it, but Simon Cowell sings it. Yeah. So that's
another aside. Why was Simon Cowell a judge for American Idol? Like,
he's a British music producer.
Okay.
He created One Direction.
I never knew, and I never cared to look it up. I just
he created One Direction
about it. Okay. Well, no, I knew that.
That happened after American Idol
Yeah,
and
that
the
was
whole
on
American Idol thing.
America's or Britain's Got Talent.
That
or
was
something.
Britain's Got Talent, yeah. But he was a producer and kind of a talent finder, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just also side note, the Funky Town cover that's in Shrek 2 is near and dear to my heart, and that scene where they're first walking into Far Far Away, or like riding into Far Far Away in their onion carriage, it's just, I don't know, it's so weird, and there's the cops scene in it as well, where they like pepper him. There's so much to this movie. There's so many clever jokes in the movie that I don't know, they subvert your expectations, and I don't know, every time I watched it I found something new, and I really appreciate that.
The scenes I remember from that movie are when they're arguing in like the banquet hall or whatever.
Yes, when they first meet Fiona and Shrek after they get married.
And then when they're like breaking Shrek out of prison.
Yes,
or something.
with Mongo.
The part with Pinocchio.
I'm not wearing ladies' underwear.
His nose doesn't grow. They're like,
all right, I'm wearing ladies' underwear.
Everyone in the entire movie is like, what?
What?
For some reason, those are the two scenes that I remember. Those are the two scenes that I remember the most. The prison break scene because the giant.
Mongo's great.
The gingerbread creature
Mongo,
attacks the
Yeah. I just love the plot too of like he's insecure that the prince and the queen, or the king and the queen, don't think he's good enough for Fiona, and that they think he ruined her life even though they're really happy. So he's like, I'm gonna make the sacrifice of not loving myself anymore by becoming hot. It's just such a weird plot point. And then Donkey's like, trot in place. As a white stallion. I want to know what the hot dragon looks like. Like,
a unicorn.
Did anyone else think about that?
No.
We saw Donkey, but we never see the hot dragon.
Does she drink it?
Does the spell get cast on everyone?
So, yes, the spell gets cast on your true love when you drink the potion, because only Shrek and Donkey drank the potion. And Fiona changed as well.
Right.
And you have to seal it with a true love's kiss.
Was the dragon even in the movie?
Yeah. I think at the very end, because that's when we find the horrifying donkey dragon babies.
No, they're in the first one.
The donkey dragon babies are the first movie?
They're during the I'm a Believer scene at the very end of the first movie.
Oh no, are they?
Mm-hmm. They fly in and they're on screen for like not even 5 seconds.
But one thing that I quote from Shrek 2 a lot.
Wait, no, Brenna, you're right.
Thank you.
They're not
so there's that scene where everyone's introducing themselves and everyone's like angry around the table and just like saying their names over and again, and then Donkey's like, Donkey!
Yeah, you do that.
So whenever I was in a new group of people and everyone was introducing themselves, especially with those games where like they make everyone like remember everyone's names and point to each other and try and remember everything, I would always interject and be like, Donkey!
Jacob is the agent of chaos, even in real life.
Agent of chaos. Also, fun fact about this movie, there was a little bit of controversy. Ooh.
Please don't ever say it like that again. That was really weird.
What's wrong? I don't see what was wrong with that.
With like the eyeshadow and the like sign behind you like made it even weirder.
Like everything about this, okay.
Did you point out your green nail polish yet?
I don't know. I was gonna let people notice out. I bought specifically this nail polish for today, and this eyeshadow.
How long has this been going on?
Too long.
Or an hour. Hour 15.
So, when Shrek 2 came out, or is it in Shrek Ever After? I'm trying to remember it.
The fact that there's more than 2. Still,
yeah.
is why?
So I think it was in Shrek 2. Hey, and by the way, the Washington Post agrees with me and called Shrek 2 better and funnier than the original. So.
Maybe I do need to see this movie again. Like,
watch it. I recommend it.
I know you recommend it. That's why we're doing this episode.
Yeah. I'm
Like
trying to
Barry
remember.
King was in this movie.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff in this. I'm trying to. Which movie is it?
What are you talking about?
So there was a scene in one of the Shrek movies that, because Eric Idle and John Cleese are in these movies, there's
John Cleese.
Yes, John Cleese is King Harold, and Eric Idle is. It might be the third movie. It might be the third movie. I don't have the third movie pulled up. That's why.
Well, the King's not in very much of the second movie, anyway.
No, he's in a lot more of the third movie.
Which I never saw.
So, yes.
Gotta say.
It was acceptable. There it is, Shrek the Third.
That's like a low bar now. From when you're like loving Shrek 2 as much as you did to like acceptable.
Yeah, it's acceptable. In the beginning of the film for Shrek the Third, in Prince Charming's dinner theater, coconuts are used for horse hoof beats. The same technique was used in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which also starred John Cleese and Eric Idle. Idle claimed to be considering suing the producers of Shrek for the unauthorized use of this gag, while the producers claimed they were honoring Idle and Cleese putting the part in it. They never sued him, but...
Who is Eric Idle?
Eric Idle?
You said he was in the movie.
He's in the movie. Eric Idle plays Merlin!
Merlin's in the Shrek movies?
Yeah, Merlin's in the third Shrek movie.
Interesting. Okay.
This is also the movie with Justin Timberlake.
What?
Yeah, the third one is Justin Timberlake plays Arthur Pendragon.
I've never seen the third one or anything after the second. I've never seen them.
I will say the third one has the beautiful scene of all of the princesses coming together and like. Is that the third movie where they all like destroy like their shoes and stuff?
What?
Oh man, I don't remember. Yes. Okay. So that's right. After a failed performance at dinner theater, Prince Charming vows that he will become the king of Far, Far Away and avenge the death of his mother, the fairy godmother.
She died in the second one.
She dies. Yeah, they turn her into bubbles. Meanwhile, King Harold is so sick, and Princess Shrek and Princess Fiona are the regents, but their attempts end in disaster. That night, Fiona discusses to Shrek about starting a family, which he disagrees with. They find out Harold is dying, and Shrek and Fiona are next in line to rule. Shrek insists that an ogre is as king, and an ogress as lady-in-waiting is a bad idea, and that there must be someone else who can rule the kingdom. Before he dies, Harold tells Shrek of another heir, his nephew, Arthur Artie Pendragon. Charming goes to the Poison Apple Tavern and persuades fairy tale villains to fight for their happily ever after. Yeah, so then they go
all
to
these
like
movies are just Shrek being like, no, fuck that.
Yes.
Like literally every movie, he's like,
All of them.
no, fuck that. Like,
so
that's how the movie starts.
Yeah. So this is, I am correct. This is the movie where the princesses revolt, and they do it to Immigrant Song, and it's great. So basically, they like go and get Arthur Pendragon, who's played by Justin Timberlake, who's 16.
Wait, Arthur is 16 or Justin Timberlake is 16?
Justin Timberlake is not 16.
I was like, there's no way he's that young then.
No. Yeah, when he was doing NSYNC, he was 4.
Yeah, I was like, we're mixed up a little bit.
Yeah, no. So they go to the high school. They get him.
There's a high school.
Then, yeah, Artie's in high school. And then the villains attack the castle. The princesses are able to escape because, like, Pinocchio, Gingy, the blind mice, they like stall. And then the queen and then the princesses all leave. So then they decide to take back the castle. Arthur becomes king. Oh, and
that's it? There's no more movies after that, right?
oh, you would think.
Puss in
But
Boots is
no.
a fine movie.
That's when we
Well,
go.
Puss in Boots was a
Shrek
spin-off
Forever
movie.
After.
I enjoyed it.
Shrek Forever After, apparently the final chapter.
Hopefully, the final
Except
chapter.
for there was a stage play, so.
Except but that was based off the first movie. There's also, so Shrek Forever After came out in 2010. Let's think about that. So 9 years between the first and the last. Rumpelstiltskin's in this one.
Yeah.
Random.
Yeah.
And he has like the French like curl.
The Pied Piper is.
They're like that. This
a
is when they're like
villain.
scraping the bottom of the barrel for fairy tale characters.
Yeah.
Like Rumpelstiltskin's in something as like his own character.
As long as
I mean,
Wickman and Winkle is in it.
Doesn't he like? Doesn't the fairy tale of Rumpelstiltskin end by him like stomping his foot so hard he explodes?
Something like that.
He like gets so mad that she like guesses his name and he's like stomping his foot and then he explodes or something.
So
I swear that's how it ends.
I have no idea. In a flashback, King Harold and Queen Lillian. I've only seen this movie once. It was not great. They are about to sign the kingdom of Far, Far Away over to Rumpelstiltskin in exchange for lifting their daughter's curse. The deal is cancelled at the last second when a knight informs the king and queen that Princess Fiona has been rescued by Shrek. Rumpelstiltskin laments. In the present time, Shrek has grown steadily weary of being a family man and celebrity among local villagers, leading him to wish for when he was a real ogre.
So he's still an ogre at this point.
Still an ogre.
And they have kids. They have like ogre
Mhm.
children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they're in his swamp. They go to Far, Far Away to celebrate the children's first birthday, and an escalating series of mishaps.
They're ogre toddlers.
They're ogre toddlers. Yeah, they had triplets. Yeah, they had triplets.
Triplet infants.
Yeah.
That are ogres.
Triplet ogre infants. Yeah.
That sounds
Shrek
cool.
encounters Rumpelstiltskin, called simply Rumple, who sees his chance having observed Shrek's angry outbursts at not wanting to be famous. He follows Shrek and arranges for him to appear to save his life. He gives Shrek a day to live like a real ogre in exchange for a day from his childhood that he would not remember being erased to thank him. He signed the contract and suddenly is taken to an alternate universe where the events from the first film never happened. Now, feared by the villagers, Shrek takes the opportunity to cause some lighthearted mischief until he learns that Fiona is a fugitive and his swamp is deserted and desolate. He is kidnapped by witches and taken to Rumple, who's now the king of Far, Far Away.
From the first movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Rumple reveals that he erased the day Shrek was born, so thus he was never born.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, so he gets to go to an alternate universe where he's still feared, but
he was never born.
In exchange for erasing a day from his childhood that he wouldn't remember, so he erases the day he was born. This is weird,
Yeah.
like, this is like the every time travel plot.
Therefore, Shrek does not exist, and the king and queen send the kingdom to Rumpelstiltskin, making them disappear. When the day ends, Shrek will disappear as well. Shrek escapes Rumpel's castle with Donkey. Initially terrified of Shrek.
Who doesn't remember him?
Donkey has no idea he exists. Donkey decides to trust him after seeing Shrek cry over his erased history, something he had never seen an ogre do before. Donkey helps him find a hidden exit clause. The contract is nullified by true love's kiss. They soon encounter an army of ogres who are resisting Rumple, led by a still cursed Fiona, who keeps Puss in Boots as a lazy, overweight pet.
I remember vaguely like a trailer where that happened, where I see that.
Yeah.
Where I see, like, ogre Fiona and like an army of ogres.
Yeah.
So this becomes the Warcraft movie. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, it just becomes Warcraft. But a better Warcraft movie, because I don't think you can get worse than the Warcraft movie.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Shrek does everything he can to gain Fiona's love, but she is cynical and disillusioned by the power of true love. after no one came to rescue her and is too busy preparing an ambush on Rumble.
Does the dragon exist in this one? Because she escapes the castle, obviously.
Not addressed.
Oh, plot hole. Great. But, like, it ends and they're all great and, like, everything's fine.
Yeah, until a year later when the Puss in Boots movie came out.
They really just wanted to make another Mask of Zorro movie, but the first few times they did that, it was just really bad. So they're like, maybe if we make a Mask of Zorro movie with not Zorro in it, it'll be better.
It stars Antonio Banderas, Salma Hayek, Zach Galifianakis, Billy Bob Thornton, and Amy Sedaris.
Who's the love interest in the Mask of Zorro? It's Catherine Zeta-Jones, I think.
I have no idea. I don't even know if the plot of this matters.
I'm interested to know if the Puss in Boots movie did commercially better than the Mask of Zorro movie.
Okay.
I'm not going to look it up, but I'm interested to know that. Jacob, what?
Oh, wait, hey, speaking of jokes, pocket joke.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Well, okay, so actually I had two things. One is a dumb joke that I just thought of, and I was like, when Catherine Zeta-Jones was in college, and, like, as a sorority girl, she was Catherine, she's Catherine New Zeta Theta Jones.
I hate you so much.
That's
Continue.
bad. That's actual bad. That's
like not even funny.
It's not funny bad. It's actual bad.
Okay. So then, other joke is the other day, Abby and I were driving, and we saw this store called Giant Carpet One, and I remarked that it's like Air Force One, but for Aladdin.
Good. I do love that. So the Mask of the Zorro. The budget of the movie was $95 million.
Wait,
somehow.
It's not called The Mask of Zorro. It's The Mask of the Zorro?
Yes, sure.
Wow,
no,
okay.
It's Mask of Zorro. I just can't read.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was like, what?
I just can't read. So 95 million for the budget, and it grossed 250.3 million.
Okay, you almost said 23 million, and I was like, wow.
That would
harsh.
Be bad. The Puss in Boots movie, the budget was 130 million.
Holy shit.
And it grossed 555 million.
Oh my god. Crushed.
Nice.
Oh man. That's really depressing.
Get right.
Get Shrek.
Oh, Selma Hayek plays Kitty Softpaws, the street savvy tuxedo cat who is Puss's female counterpart and love interest. Yikes.
You really wanted to make another Mask of Zorro movie, just make another Mask of Zorro movie, and then while you're at it, make the Aristocats. Just do it. Like
that's what they did, and
that's
obviously it worked for them. Look, I will say, our good friend, I believe,
good friend of the show.
Good friend of the show. No, Ted Elliott did not write this, because that would be hilarious if Ted Elliott did write this.
Or if Ted Elliott was a friend of the show.
Ted Elliott?
Emailing him.
Ted Elliott, I am your biggest fan. I am your biggest fan. I would love nothing more than to meet you in person. So then, of course,
that's gonna be a soundbite we use later for something.
It'll be in the retrospective, yeah. So you think after Puss in Boots they were done, right? Because it was.
Wait, they're not done after that? Also, the fact that you have a green Sharpie, that's on purpose, isn't it?
Of course it is.
I have a green pen.
The Adventures of Puss in Boots is an American computer-animated web television series.
Oh no.
What?
Oh no. Oh.
It was originally released between 2015 and 2018 on Netflix.
That is so recent, and it went on for 3 years.
Ouch.
There are 6 seasons!
Oh,
There are 6 seasons!
why do you hurt me this way?
Because I've been hurt by this. Weirdly, we're not totally done.
What?
So, do we want to talk about the short films first, or the upcoming films?
There's more? There are upcoming films.
Talk about the short films first.
Oh, God.
So, in 2001, Shrek in the Swap Karaoke Dance Party happened. In 2003, Shrek 4D happened. It was a 4D film ride at various theme parks, such as Universal Studios. Then they're considering Far, Far Away Idol a 5-minute short film. Donkey's Caroling Christmas-tacular in 2010. Shrek's Yule-log in 2010. Thriller Night is a 6-minute short film parody of Michael Jackson's video Thriller that came out in 2011. The Pig Who Cried Werewolf came out in 2011. And Puss in Boots, The Three Diablos, came out in 2012. Those are the short films. Excuse me. This is giving me indigestion. Now, the television specials.
Just remember
We
that
have-
you chose this.
Yes, I know. I just really love talking about, I don't know.
Things that
Remember all
make
that
you uncomfortable.
This episode, when Jacob said I had very big Brian David Gilbert energy at the top of the episode, that's really what this episode kind of encompasses for me. It's this, like, joke that's gone on too long and we're going far too in-depth into it, but we're too late to turn back, so here we are. The television specials include in 2007 Shrek the Halls, a 22-minute television special set shortly after the events of Shrek the Third, as Shrek and Fiona's children are still infants that premiered on the American television network ABC. Then we have Scared Shrekless in 2010. Spend a night in Lord Farquaad's haunted castle, telling scary stories.
Doesn't he die, though? The dragon eats him.
But that's why the castle's haunted. Because no one's there anymore.
Okay.
Then we have...
I think it would be better if he was sitting in the dragon's stomach, like on a chair, telling these stories.
That would be great.
He is. There's a scene in like the first, at the end of the first movie, or like in the second movie, where he's in the stomach of the dragon.
Okay. So then we have the Adventures of...
Yeah.
Then we have the Adventures of Puss in Boots. That happened on Netflix for the television series. There's another television series that debuted on Netflix. Puss in Boots Trapped in an Epic Tale.
I have a great little IMDb, or not IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes reviews for the Puss in Boots animated series. So,
will you grace us, please?
Yeah, also, guess what the audience rating is.
For the
Out of
Adventures of Puss in Boots?
Out of 24 reviews, guess what the percentage score is on Rotten Tomatoes?
3.
93%.
No, I'm gonna give it like a solid 87.
Brenna is closer. It is 76%.
That's weirdly good. That's better than I thought it would be.
The one critic review for it, which they gave a 4 out of 5 for in 2015, is just, this is all it says: Nomadic Dueler finds a home in comical, endearing series. That's all. That's the entire review. But the audience reviews are also pretty good. Like, there's some kind of detailed ones.
And people.
But I do like... Oh, are there only... Okay, there are only 5 written reviews. But
the rest are just people who starred them, yeah.
Yeah, who just started. So these are the 5 written reviews. So this is the 5-star one. Loads of critics overestimate their knowledge and skills on how animation is supposed to be. From a guy who isn't a fan of Superman 77 and Godzilla 99, I recommend this show gladly. It is to watch it and enjoy it, not to check pixels and animation quality. In my opinion, the animation quality is much better than Avengers Ultron, whatever. And the dry humor is where this gets a lot of votes from me. 4-star review. Animation isn't up to the motion picture standards, but it's entertaining for kids. 2.5-star review. Underwhelming. Doesn't begin to describe the amount of disappointment I have for this show. 1.5-star review. That show is sucky as heck. The animation is terrible. So is the storyline. It's not a comparison to the actual movie, that's for sure. I'll give them props for the acting, but other than that, it's a terrible TV show on Netflix. And then a 0.5-star review. Is it worthless POS?
Fantastic.
Does Antonio Banderas still voice Puss in Boots? Okay,
no.
thank God.
It's some guy named Eric Bauza.
Oh, he does stuff. I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
So then we have Puss in Boots Trapped in an Epic Tale. So that's all of the television and visual, strictly on-screen visual media that you cannot interact with. I don't even want to go into all the...
Earth is upcoming? You said there was upcoming.
There is upcoming. There are 2 currently slotted upcoming films. Remember how I said Shrek 4 was the final chapter?
It's not.
The 5th Shrek movie, TBA. Following the success of Shrek 2 in May 2004, Katzenberg revealed that the Shrek story had been outlined into 5 films, almost from the beginning.
What?
In the beginning.
In 2010, one of the writers said, when I first came onto the project, Shrek Forever After wasn't supposed to be the final chapter. There was originally going to be 5 Shrek movies. Then about a year into development, Katzenberg decided the story we'd come up with was the right way for Shrek's journey to end. In
So
2014,
they think that there's going to be a 5th movie, but no one knows for sure.
Katzenberg said that we'd like to let them have a little bit of time to rest, but I think you can be confident that we will have another chapter in the Shrek series. We're not finished, but more importantly, neither is he.
I mean, the original book that he came from, he was an indestructible fire-breathing monster. So, like, that needs to be the legacy of his movie series. This indestructible, like, Netflix series producing monster.
On November 6th, 2018,
He can breathe hot garbage.
It was reported by Variety that Chris Melandrani had been tasked to be the executive producer of both Shrek 5 and Puss in Boots 2.
That's true. This is our best episode.
Instead of him breathing fire, he breathes hot garbage.
I need you both to listen to the sentence I'm about to say. So the second Puss in Boots movie is also slotted. Puss in Boots 2, 9 Lives and 40 Thieves.
Well, Alibaba had been 40. Shrek had 1,000 tails.
In November 2012, executive producer Guillermo del Toro said that a couple of drafts for a sequel were already done.
He was hold on. He was the executive producer for Puss in Boots.
Really?
Apparently he was. Guillermo del Toro. You know.
Pacific Rim. Pan's Labyrinth, one of the greatest movies ever made.
First. Oh, God.
No, because Pan's Labyrinth is one of the greatest movies ever made.
Correct.
But people know him for Pacific Rim. They don't know him for Pan's Labyrinth.
Pacific Rim's bad.
It's a movie Michael Bay has always thought he was making.
Pacific Rim is an amazing movie.
So
it's Andrew Adamson and Guillermo del Toro.
Wow. What did he say?
He said that they're making another.
In 2012, he said that though.
2012.
It's been 8 years and several of his movies afterwards.
On February 26, 2019, it was confirmed that the sequel is still in development, with Bob Persichetti set to direct. Now I want to talk about one more thing before we get to the atrocity that is the musical. The
We're still
abomination.
going?
Yes.
It's gonna be the longest episode we've ever done.
Animation noticed that every Shrek film took roughly twice the CPU hours that the previous films, and thus labeled this trend Shrek's Law. Similar to Moore's Law, the Shrek's Law says the CPU render hours needed to complete production on a theatrical sequel will double compared to the amount of time needed on the previous film.
Okay. Please.
Yeah.
And
then now
Shrek 99, it'll like require the entire operating power of the like known world.
So Shrek the musical. I listened to the whole soundtrack when it first came out.
And?
It's bad. I don't have a whole lot else to say about it. I'm a believer's in it.
Smash Mouth isn't the only cover of that song, and for the longest time I actually thought they were the original singers of that song. It's actually the Monkees.
It is the Monkees, which I only knew because I loved to monkey around when I was a kid and I would watch the Monkees. I had a weird crush on all of the Monkees when I was a kid.
You got orangutans, baboons.
That's really all I have to say on
chimpanzees.
This. Other than Brian D.R.C. James was Shrek, who's like a really talented and well-respected Broadway actor.
Well, okay, so it's like the Alan Rickman thing.
Yeah.
He's known now, like he was in, he was in Die Hard, but he's like known now for being Severus Snape. Or,
I mean, he was in Chess, he was in Carousel.
Well, like Alec Guinness. Alec Guinness
Dirty
was like
Rotten
a
Scoundrels.
really well-respected actor for a long time, and like now everyone's like, oh, Alec Guinness, like he was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He played young
Star
Frankenstein on Broadway. He was in Next to Normal.
You're talking about Alan Rickman now?
No, I'm still talking about Brian D.R.C. James. And Sutton Foster originated the role of Princess Fiona as well. Again, another well-respected.
I can't, like, what? Like, I can't, like, why does this exist? Like, why is this happening to me? Why do we live in this timeline? Like,
it is the darker timeline.
This is the dark timeline where there are, like, where Shrek is a franchise and has made like they probably profited well over $1 billion. $3
billion. So I have the actual. So I have the budget was 6 for all 5 movies.
You ran the numbers, okay.
For all 5 movies, the budget is $665 million.
0.33, repeating, of course.
Shut up, Shaker.
Of course. The worldwide total gross from box offices alone is $3.5 billion.
And this is only from going to the theater to see the movies.
We're not even talking royalties and DVD sales.
Or merchandise, or
merch,
or
the Shrek experience, or
what is that?
Oh, the Shrek experience?
The 4D ride. Didn't you mention it earlier?
Oh.
Yes. But there was this pop-up thing that also happened in London that was like a Shrek walk-through exhibit. Like, did you guys go to Jamestown when you were kids? you know how you like walked through like this like town and there were like people and actors who are pretending to be these weird
like
characters?
any reenactment. Yeah, like
Picture
Colonial
that, but
Williamsburg. There's like that.
yeah, Colonial Williamsburg. Picture that, but Shrek. And you walk through like a linear path. I don't know. It's just okay. We're ending on the Shrek experience. I'm just going to pull up what the Shrek experience was.
This is not movie. This entire episode has been the Shrek experience.
This is the Shrek experience.
Now you know.
Shrek's Adventure, London. Still happening. Why can't I buy tickets? Is it still happening? Oh, this website's awful. This website's beautifully terrible.
He breathes hot garbage.
You can still go to this. If there are anyone,
You can still go to it.
Still go. About the adventure.
What?
It's so good. Oh god.
Okay,
Yeah,
actually, here's my.
They have a COVID-19 statement. I'm so glad that the actors at the Shrek Adventure have made a pandemic plan.
Okay,
a plan.
Here's my tin hat theory. Flubber gained sentience and became Shrek.
I know immediately where you're going with that. From the moment you just said the word flubber, I knew where you were going with that.
Poor Robin Williams.
Board the magical flying 4D bus driven by Donkey.
No, I won't.
Meet Princess Fiona in the bus depot and help her conjure up a little magic. Then board the magical 4D flying bus with Donkey as your driver and become the hero of the story.
Yeah, everyone's on shrooms. They just give you shrooms. Everyone does them. Welcome to the magical 4D flying bus.
This is like
Ready to go on a wild ride.
This is like if the magic school bus like were real and everyone like who knew about it was on drugs.
I'm gonna.
It reminds me of the theory that it reminds me of the theory that there's no like in Skyrim that there's no actual magic. Everyone's just drunk as shit, and so they're like imagining like dragons and all this magic and shit is happening because there's no non-alcoholic beverages that exist in Skyrim.
So what I'm saying is, Shrek is love. Shrek is life. I'm gonna go absorb that thunder now.
How long are you gonna keep that on your board?
I kind of want to pop in. So my friend's celebrating her birthday today. I kind of want to pop in with my camera on and just. They know we're shooting this episode today. And they fully supported my endeavors.
You have to at least watch until the great joke that I made that put Jacob in stitches. That's my proudest moment from today's episode.
I mean, Shrek is love, Shrek is life. I think this is the best episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
And I think we should thank you all for coming on this, for hopping onto the 4D magical flying bus with myself as our driver today.
This experience has taught me never to give Brenna any power again. Like never.
Shrek is love, Shrek is life. In this 5-page essay, I will.
Yeah, that's basically what this episode was. It was just my in this essay. Again, living the BDG life. Also, this blouse does not help the like Brian David Gilbert vibe at all. Like, I'm pretty sure he owns this shirt.
He's probably wearing it right now.
He might be.
Why am I suddenly thinking about Shrek?
This has been a very educational and concerning episode of the Dr. Z Show. Thank you all.
Adieu.
If you are still here, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
What was your
We
favorite
love you.
Shrek movie? Let us know. If it was anything other than the first or second one, don't let us know because your opinion is invalid.
No, just say it was the first or the second.
What was your favorite Shrek experience?
You know what? That's better. That's a better question. Let us know what your favorite Shrek experience has been throughout your lifetime.
And on that note, we'll see you next time on the Dr. Z Show.
Adios.